Hi, everybody. I'm Andrew Smith. I'm the news director here at Kansas State University, and we're inside the studio of Channel 8 News, where every week we have live broadcasts that show the information and all of the truths that are happening all around our area. We put those up on the internet, and those can be shared on social media in some very easy ways. However, while we here at K-State are certainly focused on only truthful information, that can't be said for everyone else on social media. So in this portion of our efforts to make you a social media maven, we'll be talking about what do you share and where do you get it? That term fake news, what does it mean? Where's it from? How can you guard against it so that when you are taking a look at things on your device and when your consumers take a look at things on their device, how can you make sure what you are sharing is actual truthful information? There are a few tips and a few different ways to do that. But first, we've got to figure out what is fake news, where does it come from, and how can we avoid it at all costs?
The first thing to figure out when we're talking about sharing fake news on social media and not becoming a victim of that and not becoming a purveyor either is what exactly is fake news. So in this little section here in our social media information, we're going to talk about misinformation on social media, a little bit of a user's guide as to how you can avoid it, find out what it is, and not be one that shares it. First of all, we got to figure out what fake news actually is. Well, it's lies or mistruths. Look, I don't like the term fake news. Fake news implies that it's actually news. News to me as a journalist means that it's truthful, that it's verified and verifiable, that somebody else could come in and do the exact same thing. Well, that's not exactly what we're seeing here. We need to make sure that fake news is not what we're sharing. News, then, is not what I would like to call it. I call it fiction, something somebody has made up. It could be a number of different things. It could be outright lies, so falsehoods. So something that somebody is sharing that is not appropriate. It could be half-truth. So taking something that's partly true, changing the way it's said, and giving us something that's different. Or it could just be an article that is totally made up, just trying to mislead us or trying to create some kind of outrage or anger, especially at one of your opponents. So that's what we see a lot in the political view. You know, sometimes we share this stuff without even knowing, like my little comic here says you can't trust anything on Facebook. So you're going to delete your account? Nah, I'm going to post it to Facebook. How often do we do that? Hey, did you see this? Well, I mean, we don't want to do that. So why does it even exist? Well, a few things. First of all, to influence opinion. We see it a lot politically. So we see it where someone wants to make you think something, wants to make you come to their side and gather support for something that actually isn't true. Also to make money. This is a big one. So we see people from other countries. We see people from areas of the United States who say, if I can get enough clicks, I can make a lot of cash. I don't care why it is. We've done a number of studies and interviews with people who have created fake news, especially over the last 5 years. And a lot of them said, hey, if somebody clicks on it, I've got an ad on it, I'm making a ton of money. So what do I care? They don't care. They just want to watch it burn. And that's where we come to the last one, just to create chaos. They just want to have everybody do something that's nuts and want to see if they can influence people because they just want to influence anyone. Well, there are 4 different kinds of reporting and 4 different things that we might see in these things that you view on social media. There's information. There's misinformation, there's disinformation, and propaganda. These come from Al Tompkins from the Poynter Institute. Information is what it says. It's truthful information that someone has reported. Misinformation are things that could be things that are shared inadvertently. The reporter gets something wrong and so shares it, or reports it, but it's wrong. And so it's mistaken information. Then there's disinformation, something that is purposely trying to get you to think something differently by sharing of information on purpose that is wrong. And then there's just plain old propaganda. Propaganda is when someone shares something to try to make you believe something that is purely untrue. We see that a lot with governments or things that happen in various regimes where they are just trying to keep the population from thinking something that may or may not be true. So where does it come from? Well, it can come from a lot of different places. And in fact, you can also create it quite easily. Here, let's do something real quick and see if we can figure out how to do this. So here's an article that we found not too long ago. Italy preparing for an Easter lockdown as COVID-19 cases grow exponentially. Well, let me change that headline to say something different. We're going to right click it and we're going to hit inspect. That'll bring up all of the HTML. And in there, we have the code for this headline. So let's change the headline into something that might be a little more controversial. Italy blames the virus on the U.S. Says White House spread on purpose. Hit return. We'll close this out. And now you can see we've got a whole new piece. Italy blames the virus on the U.S., says the White House spread it on purpose. We now take a screenshot of that, share it on social media, and suddenly, well, it's anywhere around the world. And while the article doesn't actually exist, it is still able to be used. All right, so let's take a look then on how do we combat it. First of all, our fact check list. We need to make sure that what we're seeing is factual. First of all, is it too good to be true? You know, a lot of times when we see something that's too good to be true, it actually is too good to be true, or too controversial, or too crazy. You see those nutty headlines, and first of all think, I need to watch out for that. Next, do you know who wrote it? Find out. Is the author's name listed? Are they with a reputable news organization? That's part of being able to be a savvy user. Our goal is to be users that understand when we're being fooled. And so, first of all, find out, is it from a content provider that you can trust? And are they the only ones writing it? Search out. Is this an article that you can't find anywhere else that's claiming to be the one and only true source of information? That's usually a dead giveaway that they're not the only true source of information. News flies fast, and there are great reporters all over the place. And if it's a major story, it's going to be reported in multiple areas. So double check and cross check to make sure that you see it. And can you confirm it with an independent source? You can go to things like Snopes.com or PolitiFact and all those other types of areas. And that's where you'll be able to find where these rumors are coming from. There are a lot of different places online that debunk the rumors and the things that are going to be injurious or terrible to actually share. So you want to make sure that you know what you have before you share it on social media. And that includes understanding where the bias leads. And so here's an area, you can pause this if you want on this to take a look at where your favorite area lands. I mean, you can view here that something like AP, the Associated Press, this is going to be right down the middle. And here, this shows where the bias is and how reliable those sources are. So you can see that CNN moves a little bit left, Wall Street Journal moves a little bit right, but they're still pretty well factual reporting. Whereas if you move further down and figure out where do you get your information from, do you get it from Occupy Democrats or OAN or Fox News, you'll find that some of these are speculative or sometimes unfair. So you have to understand where it's coming from and what it is that you're going to do with it. So go to your fact check list, take a look on this, and be careful when you share on social media. Someone once said that a lie gets halfway around the world before a fact can put its pants on. Things that are sensational, they move fast. And things that are nuts, they can move even faster. So as you're looking at things on social media, make sure that you are a great consumer. Make sure that, first of all, you understand there may be somebody out there trying to trick you, and that you can take that, search it out yourself, and find out what it is on social media that is going to be good for you to share, and something that's going to be good for anybody that follows you to be able to share as well. Thanks for listening. I'm Andrew Smith, News Director at Kansas State University. Happy cooking.